Thank you for joining us for part 2 on the Red Couch with Renée Hamad. Renée, that story is so heart-wrenching. And after your dad came back, the whole family traveled together to France. And you were not in the tippity top of the boat at that point.
No, we were not. We were at the belly bottom of the ship, and with smells and vapors and smoke from the machines, and it was really bad. People were throwing up all over the place. Nobody was cleaning up. It was really what you see in the movies. And when we landed in Marseille, we were put on a train to Paris, and we got there. We were received by the HIAS, which is an American Jewish association that takes care of immigrant Jews from countries like Egypt or Russia, and becomes a debt of honor. They pay for the passage, and then when we get on our feet, we're supposed to give back. And I found a job with them, and I was a receptionist, and I was able to sustain my parents and bring some money in. We were put in a little hotel in Montmartre, in a little room with mice, who were our friends. The 4 of us in one room, and all the immigrant friends who boarded the ship with us would come and we'd have dinner together, and it was bonding. It was fun.
It's interesting how when you're struggling or when something really traumatic happens, people do come together to help each other.
It gives you strength. It gives you power. You don't feel alone.
Yeah.
And it's very important to do that. You become part of your own community. And this is where it started, my need for community. Having lost my roots, it was always important for me to blend in, to belong.
Yeah.
Because I felt like someone cut my wings.
Yes. Yes. And that's, I watched you and heard your story and know you, and just, you moved so many times. You moved 24 times or something crazy that.
Yes.
And sometimes not even knowing the language.
I didn't speak English when I came to this country. I could read and write, but I could not speak it. And it was a deterrent when we moved to Canada. So I joined Sam after I eloped from my parents' house in Boston a month after we landed. I got to Canada and I didn't speak the language.
Wow.
And I had to train myself to speak it. And I had a very strong accent, and people would mock me. And I felt ostracized. They'd look at the food I ate and they thought, ooh, what's that? It was hummus. Everybody loves hummus. But it was a different culture, and I felt I did not belong. And the scar stayed.
Now, you had a very interesting neighbor in Canada.
Yes. She was instrumental in teaching me how to survive.
Yeah.
In a new neighborhood. When you move so many times, you find yourself with 2 children, have to find orthodontists, pediatricians, doctors, schools, all kinds of things. And so once I settled through the last move in Ottawa, I thought, okay, now I'm alone. What do I do with myself? And I was bored and crying. I had left a 10-year career at Lincoln Federal Savings and Loan, where I was very active and busy. I didn't know anybody, so I knocked next door. The house next door had an American flag flying, and I thought, oh, they're Americans. So I introduced myself. I said, I'm Renée Hamad, and nice to meet you. And she said, oh, I'm very busy. I can't take care of you. I can't introduce you. I'm a PCA mother. I'm this, I'm that. The best thing for you to do, open the Yellow Pages and look at women's organizations and clubs. Go to all their coffees. And then you stream down what you want to attend and who you want to belong to. And that's what I did. I felt like somebody slapped me with a wet rag. I was so depressed, but I thought, she's right. And this is what gave me, after that, I never suffered from loneliness. The day I arrived, I was on that phone calling organizations and seeing where I can belong.
You belong to so many places now. Or I should say, they belong to you. You're on the board, and that's partly how we met at the Women's Resource Center.
Yes.
Now you're entering a new role with them.
Yes, in June I'm going to be elected board president, and I hope to make a difference and elevate the profile of this not-for-profit in the community. They do so much for women, and really it's my passion to help women. And I see it happen because every Monday I volunteer there at the front desk, so I keep my hand in the pot and I know exactly the needs.
Yeah, there's many people who volunteer. There's many people who just give money. You do both.
Yeah.
And it's easier in a way, I'm sure, to just give money. You actually are hands-on at the front. You're the first stop.
Yeah.
First person
And
people
I think
meet.
it's the first stop that counts.
It is.
The first impression people get when they walk in a building. And I would not give up that position for anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, you also are on the board of Second Chance. Tell me
Yes.
about that organization.
I went to school at Eckerd College. I'm a graduate from Eckerd College Pell Program. I graduated Phi Beta Kappa.
And you graduated Phi Beta Kappa
Yes.
when you were not 19
Not a
years
kid.
old.
3 years ago, and I'm going to be 68 this year. So April Glasgow, who heads Second Chance Last Opportunity, was a classmate friend of mine.
Okay.
We became very close shortly into the game. And in class, one of the classes, we had to tell something about ourselves. And what she said just brought tears to my eyes. She talked about how she was married and raising 4 children and had a very abusive husband and ended up at the hospital. And her dad walked in and said, "This is your second chance. It may be your last opportunity.
That's how she named it?
Leave him." That's why she named it what it is. I was so touched that when she asked me to come on her board, I absolutely jumped in. And throughout my husband's sickness, she was very supportive. She was there for me, and there's nothing I would not do for her.
It's really
Fabulous
lovely.
human being.
Well, you're obviously a fabulous human being as well, and I know that Second Chance honored you at their luncheon.
They did. And the day they honored me, Sam had relapsed, and I was very worried not to be able to show up. And April said, "God will take care of you. You will be there," and I was.
So you got to accept the award. And that's their big award for the whole year.
Yeah. Every year they honor somebody in the community that they feel deserves recognition. I don't know why people think I'm special, but I appreciate it.
You're very special. You don't wait for someone to come and say, "Oh, do you think you could help with this?" Or not that she didn't ask you to be a part of it, but you wouldn't have known about it otherwise.
Right.
But you jump in. You're very passionate. You really offer so much of yourself. And every community, if every community had someone like you, then the world would be a much better place.
Thank you. I'm going to start believing you. But actually, it stems from leaving my roots.
Yeah.
And being lost. And the need to belong was so strong in me that, and having suffered with no money, when you grow up with so much, and all of a sudden you don't know if you have money for a piece of bread, you know what it's like not to have it. And when you see around you poverty or women struggling or having divorces or having to raise children by themselves, that's when I need to step in. It comes from within. I have to help.
Do you have a secret to living a happy and successful life?
Yes, I think my secret is stay busy, help others, and enjoy your family. Family comes first. And friends become part of your family too.
I'm very happy that I've become part of your family.
Yes, you are.
It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you. The pleasure is all mine.
Thanks for joining us. I'm
Thank
so
you
happy
for
you
asking.
came.
Thank you. Good luck in your show.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us
On the red couch.